off? No, Secretary Smith?
Oh, yeah, just introduction, sorry. Magnus, N0GUS.
Byron, W0WB.
Kevin, KF0HSF.
Brad, W7LDM.
Jim, K82 UHP.
Mel, F0JGI.
Vince, KC0MBB.
Christine, N0PEJ.
Chan, KB0ECO.
Brian, KC0WNL.
Rocky, W0DNA.
Troy, KI0JW.
Lori, KF0OJ.
Rick, NX0Z. Kevin, D0I. So let's do the back row.
Dan, KF0AQW.
Tom, A0TLS. UI. Second row here. Let's start with Bob.
KD0PYT.
Sandra, KD0PYS.
Jeff, KE0KRO.
Brennan, N1 BMW.
Will, KE0Z.
John, N6VEG.
Glenn, KD0ZB.
Steve, KD0WSV.
All right, anyone in the Zoom want to introduce yourself?
Jeff, WD0EXR.
Lynn, KF0GFS.
Jason, KC0MVF.
All right, thanks for joining, everybody. Great. Secretary's minutes.
All right, business meeting, minutes of the meeting for February 3rd, 2026. Meeting was called to order at 19:30 Central Standard Time. 35 members and guests present in the classroom, 5 members online. Minutes from the January 6th business meeting were read and approved. The treasurer's report was read and approved. The club's liability policy was renewed for 2026. And the club passed a motion to reimburse Will K0Z for a $200 premium.
Yeah.
Licensing's reported 1 new ham and 1 upgrade at the January 13th BE test session. Jake passed the technician and is now KF0WBI. And Kevin passed the general as KE0IEX. The technical committee gave an update on the progress of the 6-meter repeater proposal. Chan, KB0ECO, noted that the Hot Springs Radio Club has some 6-meter repeater equipment that it would likely be available to us, and that a ham in Spencer, Iowa would be a good resource for technical expertise. The repeater mode would be FM, and the antenna would be vertically polarized. It was reported that the Vermilion 2-meter repeater is back online. A date of July 25th was set for the club Hamfest and will once again take place at the Westminster Presbyterian Church on East 26th Street. The club will apply to have the Hamfest upgraded to the ARRL State Convention, South Dakota State Convention. Will KE0Z will request permission for the event to be upgraded to this status. Volunteering to be in the Hamfest committee were Brennan, N1 BMW, Byron, W0WB, Tom, A0TLS, Rick, NX0Z, Christine, N0PEJ, Joey, KF0BUL, Will, KE0Z, and Adam, W0ZML. Committee agreed to set a budget for the event and will present it at the next business meeting. Kevin, KE0IEX, showed the Meshtastic node, which will be mounted on the King Park water tower as soon as weather permits. He also showed a small module which would be able to monitor the status of the repeater batteries, which will be helpful or useful feature because at present we have to plan regular site visits to check the batteries. Another member reported that a Meshtastic node was being installed on the tower at the Sioux Falls Airport. The technology is quickly gaining momentum in the Sioux Falls area, and even the emergency management staff are wanting to learn more about it. George, WD0GNE, raised the idea of the club obtaining a number of Meshtastic radios and holding a class. Adam will be sending an email to the members about it. A motion was made and approved for the club to apply for a grant for Meshtastic's infrastructure development. Jim, AD0UHP, outlined the duties of his role as the club net manager and said he would like to have an assistant net control. The status of the Morse exhibit at the DSU Museum was asked about. Adam reported that the museum likes the game. The club discussed the possibility of having a table at the hangar, in a hangar at the Discovery Aviation Day on July 16th, before this summer's air show. The club will request permission to hold this year's field day at the Emergency Management Building again. After the meeting, Brennan and one BMW gave a demonstration of a new logging software called Wavelog. Meeting adjourned at 20:26 Central Standard Time.
So want to make a motion to accept the agreement?
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Any opposed? All right,
No,
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
recognize.
Mr. Chairman, I seem to detect spurious emissions from this desk. Request permission to install an attenuator.
Recognize. Thank you. Cool.
And I want it back at the end of the meeting.
Not a donation.
No, bypass.
Christine, are you ready to treasure the technical committee? Yeah. Do you have anything? Great. I don't think anything changed really, did it? No. It's too cold to do it. And, Will, he's ready for this.
Yes. Okay, nothing technical, please, nothing.
Oh, nothing broke, thankfully.
16 repeater.
Oh, that's another thing after that.
Okay. I put that under technical.
Yeah.
Okay. Licensing, we had just one. We had two signed up, one showed up at the last test session. Dylan passed his tech and he was an 8F0WIH. I heard him check in, but he is not here tonight. We have at least 4 signed up for the next test session, March 10th. So, a full test session next week.
Wow. Don't we only have 5 iPads?
Actually,
Oh, okay. So.
You can take turns.
yeah.
Cool. Oh, Chan, are you ready for your?
Sure. It's nothing too lengthy, but I heard from the 6-meter folks out in Hot Springs this week. The latest is that the guy that owns the spot where the equipment is coming back from California on the 25th of this month, March 25th. And then after that, they're going to go out to the site and see what they got. So I've asked them twice about any price ranges. That's undetermined yet because they don't know everything that they've got. This part of the state.
26,
I guess so.
What day is
So
26.
25th. So by the next club meeting, we should hopefully have some more particulars as far as what they've got, inventory, number, pricing. I can't imagine the price would be way out of range, something that we wouldn't want to do.
This was all working when it came out, right?
Right.
So
Yeah,
it
it was
was
still in service when it went out. Biggest thing, getting those cavities, I think. The rest of it, it's there. If not, we can come up with something on imagine. So it's moving along the way we thought. Okay.
I got one topic technical wise.
Yeah.
I think too now that we're recording the Zoom meetings, it might be worth investigating more on getting more microphones. Cause unless you're in the middle on the Zoom meetings, you can't hear anything off to the side on what's happening.
He is the one who knows microphones.
If we want to pursue that, we certainly, yeah.
Do you know of the system that would let us do it without an immense amount of pain setting it up?
I'd have to use the research on that. Okay.
I think it'd be worth asking emergency management if we can leave them up there too.
Yeah, that would be nice. We can take a picture of it and then ask them. I mean, all you would really need is a USB hub here and then they could plug their own stuff in too and use it.
Didn't the emergency manager at one time have a couple of omnidirectional mics hanging?
I don't remember that.
I don't. Or maybe.
had that sound bar as far as I know. Recently.
We can look into that, because that'd be kind of nice to have, because I know it can hear me, but I don't know if it'll hear out in the corner as well. Good enough if you project, but if you don't project, you're not getting in.
Yeah, not everybody speaks up for.
Does that
Or is
Tom,
it-
they used
I-
to have mics, you could plug into that.
Yeah, we could branch out.
Yeah, so if you had a long meeting table, you know, like 30 feet.
And that's what we have to look at. The thing of it is, we have to get something that's USB compatible. Or we have to have a sound mixer board with all the mics plugged into that has to go with PC. I really don't want to have to set that up over something.
I mean, they just use plug in, audio,
Yeah,
does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. So we can look at it and see what we
eBay might have some.
You'll find something.
Yeah, something that'll work, and I can send them a question and ask. I'll take a picture of this and say, if the cable was hidden, would this be okay to sit up there, and could we do more? So, yeah,
Somebody must be heard, make them.
yeah. So, you could almost leave it there and say, hey, how's it looking? I bet really if we kept that up there and hid the cable, they would never
They
notice.
never see it.
They would not notice it.
Take it.
Yeah.
No,
that's
but
it.
I think it'd be courteous to ask them.
Yeah, no, we're gonna ask them either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So I don't think they'll say no to a free upgrade that they don't have to pay for.
And if it was semi-permanent, we could hide the wire and then it would really.
Yeah. Yep. So, cool. Next thing of business, the Hamfest committee was did that discussion.
Okay, we had a Hamfest committee meeting, I forget what day it was. 17, and decided on a budget. One thing we did is we applied to have the Hamfest. First, we applied for it. We applied to have it at the South Dakota section convention, and we got approval for that. We had one little problem that two of us applied for it. We had a little bit of different information, so we had to resolve that. So we got it. So, but we got it, and we're gonna have it. We decided we're gonna have a test session at this Hamfest. So if anyone wants to upgrade, put your sights on the Hamfest on the 25th of July. Start studying, and we came up with a budget. It was a little cloudy what we came up with. I think it was $600 for prizes, but we also are going to give $150 for the church, so that makes it $750.
And then 100 per concession.
100 for concession, so 600 prizes, that makes it $850.
Mhm.
And $850. The last year we made like well over that. We ended up making $700 clear. So that's the budget, $850. And we have to have approval for that from the club.
I'll move that we approve the budget as proposed.
I'd like to amend that a little bit and say, give them a little latitude and make it up to 1,000, starting as $850 as a baseline, so that you don't have to do this every time. It goes up by a couple dollars.
Okay. I'm pretty sure we can stay under that budget.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
Cool. So amended, someone want to make a motion as amended? Second? Mike, following Robert's Rules of Order when they amended here correctly?
You have to second the original motion before you can amend it.
Okay.
I second the original motion.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
This is Rich from motion.
I'll second the amendment.
All right. All in favor? Any opposed? Cool. Any other stuff with the,
So that's $850. Now let's,
so we're state convention now, so I can retire the Hamfest name and the.
yeah, it's South Dakota State Convention. So we're, I gotta write this down so I get it in the minutes correctly. $850 with a, how did you word that exactly?
Flexible lanes of up to 1,000.
Okay,
keep blowing.
And if it's less, that's okay too.
Okay, I'm sure it's gonna, I think we're gonna, I think we'll be less than 850. I want to make sure.
So I have a question for the committee. Are there any plans to invite PARL personnel to attend?
That's the next thing. That's our next meeting.
Okay.
That's the agenda of our next meeting.
And I guess, do we have any speakers lined up then, or do you wanna propose a question if anyone
Now,
offers?
then we have enough time for 3 forums, but we're gonna have a test session at 10 o'clock. So that takes up all the remaining time. So we're gonna have, probably we're gonna have is one ARRL speaker there. It might be the Dakota Division Director or Chris, the South Dakota Section Manager. One of those, we'll try to get those.
Yeah.
But
It's just because
then
we're in
after
that
10
one room
o'clock,
then, or-
it's that one room, yeah,
Oh, we can get another room.
okay, well.
Yeah, I can ask
we do that,
that.
right?
So,
Okay, well,
So
we're
you can do licensing in parallel with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or however, where it's almost a block, or whatever we choose. I'll see if, before our next meeting, I'll see if there's additional room. It just has to be voted on by the church to
Okay,
it'd be official, but
that's what we're gonna work with. Our next, the agenda of our next mini meeting is, we'll probably selecting prizes and then figuring out what kind of forums we're gonna have, other than the test session, which we are for sure gonna have.
Cool. I'll make sure to make that one this time. So,
Oh, and Matt, do you want to be on the committee,
I'm sorry, which committee?
the Hamfest committee?
Sure.
You were on it last year, so okay.
cool. Any other questions, anyone for the Hamfest over here? Oh, yeah.
Bill, what are you doing for publicity for this?
We just got it put into the QSA just now. We have to get something ironed out, but we're gonna send out flyers.
But, because I was wondering if we can get some advanced publicity, open it up to prospective people, have a operating station or something such as
Oh.
that.
Sure. Yeah, we're all kinds of possibilities, but right now we're gonna get flyers, get the flyers started. I think Rick's gonna work on the flyers.
As long as there's something certain.
All this down, some things are preliminary, there's still some open areas to fill in.
Thank you.
Any other questions, anyone for that? Cool. Right. It's really frustrating to see. What my glasses. You have text. Meshtastic update. Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So who's I dealing with that?
I think it's yours, yeah, it's yours now.
Okay, so the, if you guys wanted to do something like, sort of get together, or we assemble some and program them all together. We do a group buy, there's some handheld ones that, about $50. It's the WIO Tracker L1 Pro. It's a pretty solid little unit, but chip, so it's really good on battery life. Got GPS. It's not waterproof, but it's like a kind of daily driver node. And then Adam was asking me also about like solar nodes. Because I know a lot of you guys have like towers in your backyards and stuff. So we're going to put together some of those. There's a design, so like a really small one, probably 5 inches by 8 inches ish size. Put together a parts list. You can do it for it would be $100 if it was just to build one, but if we do 10 of them, there's enough parts you can get both discounts on to do it for about $10 a piece. And that's with a pretty solid intent on it too. So it'll be pretty good performance for the price.
So at the $80 price point, assuming we get up to 10, I know we mentioned doing the group buy last time, but we didn't have prices. So that $80, kind of show of hands, who's interested in that one? Yeah, that's 10.
Gotcha.
So.
Great.
Yeah. So,
So I get together a sign up sheet for that.
yeah, and I'll put out the one for the little handheld one versus the big solar one. You guys can choose which one you want, but I think between this, the email, and the Discord, we're gonna get enough people anyway.
The handheld ones do have a more discount too, so we can put them all together. I don't remember where that's in at. But, definitely save on shipping. Put them all together too.
I will circulate an email after this, and I can take down names here too.
Model, that's the WIO Tracker L1 Pro. Don't blame me, all the names on things are stupid.
Yes, Grumpy?
Could you include a picture in the email so I know what I'm?
Yes.
Yeah, I can find one. Cool. Any other questions for Meshtastic building node stuff?
Oh.
Yeah.
Does that pen have to all be the same model or can it be either one of the two?
Either one, but I think we're gonna get 10 of at least one of them. How much was the smaller one?
The little handheld ones are $50.
How much without the bulk discount?
They're about, so it's like 47, but then if you only get one, the shipping's like $12. You get at least 5, the shipping evens out. But after a certain amount, there's like 10% discount. I don't know what that amount is. 50-ish.
So 50-ish bucks for the
Yeah.
one, and then, yeah. I can always throw $20 towards the shipping just to make that go away. So, cool. I will circulate that out with pictures, and then we can figure out how many people. It's like pretty much half of them, so that's good. And then for actually, I'll cut up a little bit in the budget and move the grant proposal thing. So I threw one together, and we'll figure out when we know the 6-meter thing how much we can all put in that. But I found 3 different organizations I can apply to. Midco being one, an individual who has a company downtown who gives up quite a wide ballpark in that. And I actually called the Midco grant people and I said, hey, is this within scope? And they're like, yeah, it actually seems kind of cool. So that's a good start. So I thought, if we're going to do these things and spend money like there's no tomorrow, let's see if we can get some cost sharing in with that to people other than the people in this room. So I did all that. And one of such things I did last week is I went up to Dakota State Museum, same one that has the Morse code box. And I went to a talk from an astronaut. It's Chuck Gaymar in Sioux Falls. Anyone met him before? He's an interesting guy. And so he was on the shuttle missions, quite a few. I think he spent about 50 days combined in space. And he was doing a talk. And I said to him, I was like, hey, because I did the whole thing where I put the bow thing on the table and hope they said something. And at the end, he came over and he's like, you ever talk to the International Space Station? I said, no. And so he is all game for if we've ever wanted to do an official contact. I know there was a Dakota State guy who came here before, but it didn't go very far. If we want to do an official ISS contact with an educational group, he's offered to give up his time to talk to the kids before, and those are usually scheduled pretty far out. They can kind of jump up and forward, back and forth a couple weeks or so, depending on when the astronaut has time. And the passes with the ISS are predictable too, but he's offered to come and talk through with the kids science stuff. So, if it's with contact, if it doesn't work out well, at least they talk to an astronaut, except for, on Earth.
What's his name?
Chuck Gaymar, Gemar.
There's a minimum equipment requirement to be able to get that.
And so the grant.
Okay.
See if they can cover it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, because we'll need a rotor.
Yeah.
And I think between all of us, we'll have a satellite capable radio that can do full duplex. I hope.
You can do one better.
Yeah.
They'll send you, if you work with the not the AMSAT group, there's the
ARIS folks?
Yeah, the ARIS folks, they'll send you a complete station.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
They've been begging for one in South Dakota because I think we're one of the last 2 states, I think, in the union that have never had an ISS contact. As some of you may remember, like I said, we did have that offer, I think, from Northern State or somebody, and they rejected that as not reaching to a younger audience. So the bigger trick that the club really needs to tackle is, like you say, in the Sioux Falls School District or one of the neighboring cities, which school, you know, presumably probably an elementary or junior high school, would be willing to, to put forth the effort of letting us set this all up. So there's a little bit more to it, like I say, as we found out when they rejected the northern, the northern one. But Chris Stallcamp and I were working on it quite a bit, let's say with Northern before that fell apart. But Chris is an excellent resource we should bring in if we can find, again, an educational institution like a school here in Sioux Falls that would invite us in.
Talk
What
with
size school do we need?
they can only get usually in the past like maybe 15 kids at most if they ask the questions quick.
Right, but
So-
how big a school? do
Oh,
we
they
to
just
have?
need enough to fill a room.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, they involve everyone they can if you would like to, but I talked to the Madison School District people, or at least a lady who's heavily involved with the planning, and they were all game for that. What we really have to figure out is leading up to the contact, they want the school district and the kids to do space themed things, like maybe your physics class, your math class, you're calculating Doppler, and in your English class, you're writing about NASA history, and they want to have some sort of educational buildup to the final thing, which is talking to the astronaut. So we got to figure out what they expect for that, because that's going to be the first thing the district asks is, what do you need from us besides to show up? So if there's something we're interested in, I can move that along a little bit further. But
Does this have to be a public school or it can be a private school?
I think it'd be anyone, to be honest. It could be a co-op group if we really want to.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm in a homeschool co-op that could work out with, because there's a large number of kids in it and they can do some
Yeah,
space stuff.
I don't think it needs to be a public school. So,
Typically, when you look at these, I mean, you're looking at a gymnasium full of kids, and then 3 to 5 of them are picked out of the group to ask their questions to the astronauts in the short time of the pass. So I would aim high, at least in trying to get 30 plus kids into the room minimum.
okay.
Well, so they gotta give you access to the roofs or the field where you can have antennas, and there's a whole bunch of.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of planning that goes into that.
That's the technical side.
Yeah,
And you've got.
that's where we come in, is the technical side.
Yeah,
So,
curriculum
Is-
side too.
Is there a source for the lesson plans they want in place to lead up to this?
I couldn't find one, but
Or
should
the
have
high
it.
points of a lesson plan?
yeah,
Parents should have that information, especially what they've done before with the other schools. Oh, would Matt know?
Matt, do you know for curriculum of like what they expect kind of to the lead up?
No, I don't, but I'm just thinking of that would be something. I can't remember her name, but Linda. There's a single point of contact for the Eris group, and I can't imagine that this is a new question. I bet she has an answer.
Yeah, and I bet since they've never done one in South Dakota, I hope their requirements are just a little.
They're
less.
very, very. I'll say desperate to have us, come together and do something like this. I literally think they'd almost fly somebody out to look at this. But if you guys want to look, since I see some of you have pens and papers, check out the following website. It's eris.org. It's Alpha Romeo India Sierra.org. And that's the page there. And you can see there's lots of examples of what various groups have done around the world when scheduling this kind of stuff. Yeah, it looks like there's going to be one in Bombala, New South Wales, Australia on Thursday. So it looks like they're going to have 60 to they're planning to have all 70 students in the school in the in the room with the contact, for example.
Do we have any satellite experts at all in the room? It's definitely not me.
We don't, but my friend Frank, who's on the board of directors for AMSAT, and also another friend of mine who's a big AMSAT guy in Minneapolis, have agreed to drive out for the event to help make sure that we've got somebody satellite savvy in the group. My friend Mark in Minneapolis has done these before in Minnesota. So we do have an experienced guy about 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Ray would probably be our most experienced satellite person.
Yeah, Ray's the only one I've heard from
Yeah.
so far on that. So, nothing says we can't all try to do some satellite, I guess. Yeah, I'd like to see,
You need a motion to proceed with that,
I
or?
don't really think so. Let's see how far we get first, and if they, yeah, it turns out to be absolutely terrible to get this done, then we don't, but. Yeah.
Pick a school.
We gotta find a school. Yeah.
Again,
I suppose we're
we'll bring it up.
interested.
I'll bring it up to my co-op. It's rather large. There's,
You think you do it for the next meeting? Right.
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it?
The primary contact for all of this is Rosalie. I'll give you her call sign there. I see Will's got the pen in action. Rosalie's call sign is Kilo 1 Sierra Tango Oscar. And Rosalie, you spell Romeo Oscar Sierra Alpha Lima India Echo. Last name is White, like the color or lack of color.
And the Frank that you mentioned earlier, that's Frank Bauer, right? The other Eris guy, Matt?
I don't know. I've got Dave Taylor listed from AMSAT North America, but Rosalie's the one from the league.
Okay.
She would know.
She's the one that was banging on my door when I was director to try to find somebody to do a contact out here.
Okay, cool. We'll reach out to them on that. And Jeff, I see you texted me the astronauts Wikipedia. If you drop that in the chat too, it'll be great for Chuck Gamer. So yeah, in the worst case scenario, if we're that interested in doing satellite stuff, I guess on our own, we'd always ask and a grant, preferably. So we got a little bit of time to do this. For a rotor, that could be a club one that you could check out, get a ham club online and take home and get good with it. This would be nice if we had at least a small fleet of people who do satellite stuff. Or for field day, yeah. I know we've done it before with Ray, where I think we just aimed it by hand, but yeah, there's a whole lot of sats and a lot of stuff. So that's all I've got for that.
Right. So you think maybe that if we built a node, we could donate it to the space station? Like the Buddy Yagi putting down
Yeah, we got that in the budget.
that wouldn't even take the astronaut a lot of time because messages will come to him and he can just talk when he has, or respond when he gets back.
Yeah, he gets all of the Meshtastic messages in the world.
Yeah, well, I got a message from an airplane at 30,000 feet. That made me think beyond that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be kinda neat.
Suddenly half the planet in a giant mesh.
Yeah. Bounce back to the Meshtastic thing, Kevin. Were you gonna talk about the cell tower thing or
Yeah, sort of.
the? Okay,
It's
go ahead.
sort a little bit still in the idea phase, but I was going to for the airport. The administrators at the airport want that to be like a club official thing, so it's probably gonna be kind of like the city where they say anything on the tower has to be owned by the club. So instead of so right now there's a cell tower that has the first kind of big node I built. It's got a station G2 and a lead acid battery and on there, and it's a great transmitter, but because it's on a cell tower and I didn't put the right filter on it, it's kind of deaf. So I was thinking about swapping out one of the larger 3 nodes I have built right now that I was going to put in the airport. Swap that out for the cell tower one, and then Sell the G2 node to the club to put in the airport. And I think originally that cost me like $490 to build, but I would let it go for like $200-300 because I want to see it at a better place. So. You put the club, you put the ball at the airport, the behavioral club? No, I have. Okay, right here.
This one, that's us.
Lots of clubs around. Yeah.
I think the airport thing would be especially nice if all I have to do, I guess, is send them a letter saying, we're good with this and it's tied to us. And I think if we're gonna ask for a grant, which I'd like to try either way, since we said there's hope, a letter of approval and saying we've worked with the Sioux Falls Airport, I think that goes a long way, just for the sake of, to get the letter already, so.
I was gonna ask, since we're gonna be potentially going to the airport, how about tying it also into the National Weather Service station that's there and a mesh net into them, because they're always complaining about not getting data for the spotters.
If it's possible, then why?
Actually, it already has a, no, I mean, it already has like a temperature and humidity sensor already. Actually, no, the G2, they're always complaining about getting data from around the area going into them as spotters. And so with the Meshtastic net going into them directly, anything you can push through that. What kind of data they want? They want location, they want to know whether there's any ground wind and what direction it is and velocity, location they grab to start with, temperature and humidity in that particular area. That's typical what the spotter information is, but we want it localized because they can't see the ground. Oh, that makes sense. So they only can see 5 degrees above the horizon in radar, so what they're looking for is, this whole region here, what are you doing out on the west side of Ellis? What are you doing out in Brandon? What's happening down in Harris? So that they can get ground data that can feed back into their models for the region. Oh, that's cool. So the three, you guys have done spotter stuff.
Yeah.
The 3 Linux that I have right now already have built in temperature and humidity sensors. And then I could add one to G2, like, just for serial copy to plug right in. And I'm gonna put a weather station on that place, so then basically, I would then want to link that and we're able to feed it to them, and I'm not afraid. Yeah. I don't know if there's any ground stations that have, like, anybody with that. Support the Meshtastic code. Might be able to rig one up, custom code, but now there's plenty of temperature humidity sensors that can plug right in, it just works over here. Yeah, that's all.
But people could also just report in through the Meshtastic network what their local conditions are.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Especially for the letter of approval, what motions do we need to do things or not do things here?
Do we have like a contact over it?
At the airport?
For the spotting thing. For weather service. National Weather Service. We had a couple of people there.
Yeah, I think that's names.
And they got, don't they have their annual training coming up in March?
Yeah, I put it in the email.
April?
April
14th of April.
Peter Rogers.
Yeah.
It's on the top.
So do we need a motion to accept the airport, or what do we? I
don't know, I guess. It's still kind of more out of buying.
If we want to spend money, we need a motion to spend.
Yeah, do we need a motion to say, for me to send the letter to the airport and say like,
Technically,
we'll
yes.
claim this because it's our property now, so.
Technically,
Yeah.
yes.
To adopt the airport
Because
site.
if you are sending a letter, then you are speaking
Yeah.
on behalf
And
of.
we need a motion for that, sure.
But it'd be nice if they took the liability versus us having to add liability to that location.
Yeah.
That's, with the city, the state, any government agency, you want to make sure they're responsible versus us being responsible. Well, if they're already
Responsible for what?
Airport, they could just buy a little handheld one that would hear from the airport one easily. But then that part of it would be done. You've got the liability for the one that's going to the airport. Probably.
Liability for what?
Let's say it shorts out and burns out something. Let's say it falls off the tower and hits somebody on the head.
It's gonna be on top of the parking garage.
I don't know where it's gonna be.
That's where it's gonna be at.
And it'll damage a car.
Believe me, a lawyer will find a way to sue
That's all I'm
someone.
saying is we have to think about that from the standpoint as a government location. We don't want to make sure, we want them to be taking responsibility.
And the airport's not gonna do that.
I move that we authorize Adam to send a letter on our behalf.
And ask the question, yeah.
Second.
Get a motion, second, all in favor of letting me send out the letter? Any opposed? Right, yeah, I did go and look at it, John, when I was up there, and it's, I don't know, it's pretty recessed into the roof, isn't it? It's like
Yeah, we put it.
30 feet in.
It's like 50 feet from any ledge.
Yeah, like if this was like the edge of the roof, like past the front door is where the node would be, so it's, if it's fallen, it's just falling over on the bottom part of the roof.
If someone's BMW and they'll
No.
sue you for everything.
Unless it fly, unless a tornado comes and picks up the bricks and
There you go.
whips it out.
Well, if this was New York, you better have the lawyer in.
Oh, yeah.
This is not New York, so maybe we don't have to worry about it, but I always think about having worked for the government that if someone's gonna screw you, they're gonna screw you.
Yeah,
Can we just list the Meshtastics on our club liability with the ARRL?
I don't know if they're.
It's our equipment.
Yeah, it's our
We do have-
equipment, it's not ham
Oh, yeah,
equipment,
insurance,
but
yeah.
neither is a lot of other stuff too.
I think it might fall under that umbrella.
Yeah.
They might ask for a
They have the
certificate
liability.
of
Yeah.
other insured,
Yeah,
COI, they might ask for that, we can do that.
shouldn't be too bad at all.
So you're gonna send
So-
them a letter to request approval of equipment?
Oh, they already approved, they just want the letter. So,
Letter.
yeah, they said they're all open to the idea, they just want, right, Brad, am I reading that? Yep. Right, yeah,
Letter-
that's what my email
What's
says.
this letter, gonna be then?
Just say, we will put a note up there and it has to come from, we're a 501c3 now, so that lets us do a lot of these sorts of things.
Understanding sort of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to say we're partnered with you in this. And yeah, if we weren't a 501c3 or just a bunch of guys in a room, that would be a little bit different, but we're an official organization, so they like that a little bit better.
We're grown up.
So,
I know, we're big boys now.
so the cost of this node, where's this coming from? Cause we got a couple donations, right around 200,
Yeah,
which I thought was going for the Coon Park Heavy Station.
Yeah, those are the part, so that would be
Have we-
another thing that we haven't really. discussed.
Yeah, we haven't discussed anything on cost on the airport one.
no, that's the second motion. So
Let's get permission.
let's get permission and then do that. So how much would it be for the airport?
If we're gonna swap it out for the G2 one, the three that I have built right now were $360. But I would sell the G2 one for like $200.
Cheap. Yeah. Okay, and then are we taking the cell tower one then, or how's that work?
No, I would just, because I haven't,
Or are you just gonna swap it?
yeah, I haven't like gotten like.
Yeah.
Right now, instead of selling the club, $360 one, and they can swap out that G2, sell that one at the airport.
Oh, okay, so I just have to send a letter and then later on we can vote on when you get it down.
Yeah.
Cool, that sounds fine to me.
That tower's on the parking lot?
It's not actually a tower, it's just a roof.
Oh. I'm
So,
sorry.
yeah, it's a flat gravel roof with the air conditioner next to it.
Oh,
So,
okay, it's not even on a tower.
no, it's, how many floors is it? It's like 10 floors. Four-story garage, it's 60 something. Yeah, you can see everything from up there. You can see the one Catholic church and you can see our other one on the water tower, so when those all go up. So, and then I asked Dusty for our website too, and I can do a subdomain of mesh.w0zwy.org, and I can have the nodes broadcast out our website. So when people connect to it or see it through whatever path they have, they'll get a straight thing to say, hey, come to this meeting and here's how you can pay dues. So that'll almost done with that part. So that'll be up by next meeting. So I guess that's all on mesh stuff. And the only other thing I've got too for is moving on to the next order of business here. For the Discord, since we've got a lot of people and I like went through and did kind of an index Not a lot of them are super local, which is fine. I don't really care who's in there, but are we against sending out, this, not a lot of conversation that happens in there is specifically Sioux Falls oriented. It's like, we're having a meeting, we're having a SWAT meet. And I kind of do like the conversation that goes on in there. Are we against me sending out a letter, saying, hey, here's the link, here's a little QR code. If your ham club would like to join, I send them to a couple in South Dakota. Here's the link to join. I guess I think it'd be nice to. I guess it was never a Sioux Falls specific thing, but is anyone against that at all? Offering it up? Yeah.
Depends on how much additional traffic.
Yeah.
We're gonna end up where it's gonna start getting annoying.
Yeah.
And I would be against it.
I've muted all the different ones and have it where I just, when I think about looking at it, I look at it, but yeah, I can show you how to do that if you want, but I just muted all of them because there's no amount of anything in there that I ever want to make a notification sound and wake me up at night. So I just muted it all. So I love y'all, but not that much. So, so anyone against me sending out just a letter for that? I'll just pay for the postage and do it. And I was gonna take all the AWRL clubs on, probably start with the east side of the state and just say, here's the link, anyone can join. Here's the link, anyone can join, and do it one at a time and see how many people actually join. So,
Are there any clubs in western Minnesota or northwestern? I don't know. That would also be interesting.
sure, yeah. I thought this would be a good driving thing to get them in from the SWAT meet too, because there's a couple of people who found our Discord somehow and were not members and have become members just by seeing that. So I don't know. I know there's a couple people in Yankton that felt obligated to pay dues because they're using the Discord. Not that it's required at all, but it's always appreciated. So
I thought it was the state convention, not the SWAT meet.
oh yeah, state convention. Dang you. Yeah.
We need a motion.
Illusions of grandeur.
Well, I'll pay for the stamps, so I don't think we really need.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're all in agreement for it, unless someone feels like we need a motion for me to send a couple letters. I'll do it one at a time and see. Yeah, and then it's like if we get like everyone under the sun coming in, then we can maybe reassess it a little bit. But I was gonna send it to the Watertown and Brookings one, and because those are within SWAT meet range, and see what happens, and then kind of trickle them out and see what happens.
You ought to also send it to Sioux City, Prairie Dogs, and Dakota County too, because we're all like really close.
Yeah, let them all join. So
yeah. If you're gonna go local, then it's pretty much.
There's another one that we went to.
there's another one that went too.
What was local?
It's like it's the one that did the Brewster swap, and that's another one I always send it out to. So I'll just go through the AWRL club list and figure out where their mailing address is and send it out.
Okay, that's the other one. So,
Yeah, I can't think what they're called, but the Brewster folks. So, well, I will do that and we'll see what happens. I've already went over the grant thing, so there's no formative talk tonight. I couldn't get anyone. So unless someone, oh yeah, the one thing, yeah, museum stuff. Sorry.
With the Morse box, we're thinking about building another one for the club. I know that Grumpy, didn't you talk to the Washington Pavilion about having one of those there?
Well, I was supposed to get pictures to talk to them.
We can send.
Yeah, we
So I
can.
get pictures.
Yeah.
I've got a contact if she remembers me.
Yeah.
if you guys want any old radios, I mean, I got a list over there we could give back to the museum and they can display those.
There's all the stuff.
I am also wondering if anyone has any wood boxes to make another one. Because it'd be nice to have a wood box, and also any older Morse keys that have. It'd be nice to have one with historical value again, because that was another part of it that the museum really liked.
Check
that
that
there was,
chest over
Yeah, we got one.
That might have some Morse code.
too big of a box.
So one used before was like somebody's toolbox that was maybe like,
what is cigar box worth? Like an actual cigar box this time? Nothing.
Well, we need to fit a computer in there, and we can't fit a Raspberry Pi won't work right now.
Right.
So we haven't gotten an x86 style computer.
The same size one.
With
I gave you?
yeah.
Okay. I can conjure up another one.
Okay. And then what? Oh,
The guys made some changes to it, and now there is a really nice mode that'll make it easier for future boxes. But then we can also put our club information on there.
Really?
So that the game.
Yeah.
You can point us back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as they play the game,
So-
it'll say it on like the title screen.
Before, and we'll have it'll say ARL, and we can put all of our club information in there.
Yeah.
They added that just for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yes. The
Really?
developer
Pretty
of the
much,
game
yeah.
Thinks Gus is the coolest kid in the world, and he's
Yeah.
he's made several modifications just for Gus to help make this.
I went up there for a meeting earlier, and there was a girl who was there who was part of their high school history club, and they were explaining to me, she's like, yeah, she's actually gotten pretty good at Morse code, like actually 100%. And I was like, oh, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So
I know that the museum had mentioned that if they had like some that they could take with them and take to schools or leave behind at schools to use for informational displays, they would do that. So they're not hard for us to build. There's some things that are harder for us to source than others, you know. But
if we can get the Raspberry Pis to work, because I don't know what was wrong with them, but anyways, if you get the Raspberry Pis to work, it'll be a whole lot easier. But for now, that's a little.
If anybody has wood boxes that are roughly the size of the other one, if anybody has
smaller,
like those,
red box.
yeah, roughly. And anybody has historical keys, I mean, that are robust, that will stand up to kids messing around with them.
Yeah.
And then, the small PCs, if people have them that they don't, okay.
I'll just donate
Those are super easy. And I think we have plenty of the other supplies. We can make the, USB interface to turn the key and the button into a keyboard and make all that happen.
We have plenty of buttons.
Yep. So.
Cool. Yeah. I can actually, for the mailing list, we'd like to just send that groups.io.SEARC one. It'll blast it out to everyone, and you can.
Okay.
Just, you can advertise in there. It's not just me who needs to send the emails for those. So, just be aware when you reply to one, everyone sees it. So, well, that's all I've got. Rick?
Kind of off of many of the subjects that we talked about, but just something I thought I'd drop there a little bit. Our Discord presence. The club section has 29 categories, close to 30 different categories. And then we've also got the Skywarn section, which includes, for some reason, some digital ham stuff like JSA call, which hasn't been posted in since mid-2024. Meshtastic, which I think should be more mainstream. 6 meter, which is more ham than Skywarn, I think. Does anybody else feel that maybe we should do a little study and look at what kind of activity we're getting in some of these different things and maybe simplify it, combine a little here and there and move some things like the Meshtastic over to the club thing instead of being in Skywarn, which I don't think of it as being in that general category. Just a thought.
Or just put it all in one. Whatever works out.
We could. I looked at it.
I've never looked at the Skywarn one at all. So.
Okay, most people don't, and then you wouldn't see the Meshtastic stuff or some of the digital mode stuff that's in there. So just maybe some room for improvement. If nobody else thinks so, it doesn't bother me. But we got all these different categories not getting much in the way of activity. The Meshtastic group is a lot more active than ours is, and easier to go to a few different categories of interest and actually read things there.
Are you offering to simplify it down and kind of report back which ones you want?
Well, I was really trying to do that, but I could work on it, or we could I'd certainly be open to input from other people as part of the process, or I don't know if we need to start a bunch of Zoom meetings over something like that. I think that there's room for improvement.
Yeah,
I think that's a great idea. I think I see a lot of this where the movie challenge is pretty down pretty low, but there's a lot of challenge and this thing goes down.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we could look into doing, I know, Lance gave me the access to the Skywarn one, and he was kind of under the impression that, you know, it doesn't get much use, and
Cool. Nice.
you know, he's kind of given up on that one. So whatever we want to try to bring that one back or combine it into one or whatever we think is best. I don't really care what we do. But
Yeah, the Skyward one, I rarely look at, just because when I do, there's nothing going on there at all.
yeah,
And then it's a strange mishmash of categories, I think.
yeah. Well, I guess maybe we don't need to kill it, but we could just not love that one as well and combine it into one, you think? Or?
Oh, we could just leave the Skyward there, but try to just narrow the focus a lot. Few different categories, and then if, and I mean, it could sit there. If anybody in the club or the club gets more involved in doing stuff like that, I mean, we got a platform for it.
Yeah.
But some stuff I think should definitely be moved over to the other side.
Yeah. I can go through and figure out how to, I've never really managed any of that stuff before, so I can figure it out.
Okay.
So, Kevin, do you know how to do that? I see a smiley face. You're hired. Cool. With that being said, anyone else have anything new? No?
I'm just gonna vote for German.
Oh, well, one last thing.
We do have permission to use this room for field day.
Hey, all right. Hey, you hear back to the
No, I sent it out
Oh, okay.
a couple weeks ago.
It'll be here, so. All right, I had one. Someone made, Sandy made a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second? All in favor? No.
Hey, guys, got that list that we got, in the meantime, I'll pray.
Yes.
And if you guys want.